on her journey from passion to profession. Priya Sahgal on and off screen. Hello and welcome to our NewsX podcast show. Here with me is Priya Sahgal, television journalist, author, and political talk show host. So, welcome, ma'am. Welcome to our podcast show.
Thank you, Chitvan, for calling me, and good to be here. I'm learning new technologies thanks to you.
So, this is our first podcast, ma'am. I'm glad that you are the first guest of our podcast show. So, I'm gonna ask you some questions, some little fiery questions, some little basic one for you.
Okay.
So, let's get started this video. So, to begin with, I'm gonna ask you the first question that what is your view about the journalism and journalists for today's world?
Today, actually, Chitvan, it's a very good question. And state of journalism really is, at today's point, it is really at what we call a crossroad. It can go this way or that way.
That is true.
And the reason for that, I think, is, कि आजकल, earlier on, much before you were born, there were just newspapers and then there were television. So there were just two mediums to watch. Now we have social media, we have what you may call it.
We have digital platform basically.
Digital platform
Yes.
has taken over. And so you have so much, there is overkill of news and you don't know what is right, what is wrong anymore.
That is true.
So the role for the journalist is also to, not to, should I follow the news that the social media is setting or should I follow my own news and what I think is right?
True.
Second, social media guys have no pressure in terms of, you can just take a smartphone and become a journalist.
That is true.
While mainstream media has a lot of overheads like a satellite, like an office, like a staff. So you need advertisements. Advertisement means you have to be, responding to someone, the one who gives you the money.
Yes.
So that's how our field becomes a little limited. While it's a, free for all in the outside world. So how to strike that balance is something we are still trying to do today.
And nowadays people are like making one video and getting like 1,000 views on it.
That's it, which a proper show which we will shoot in the office, some editor will spend hours working on and fixing.
Exactly.
And by that time, this some video has gone viral.
True.
Candid camera.
Exactly. People are making the smallest video. They're like कि आज ये हो गया and all that, then all of sudden उनका views case में चला जाता है.
और क्या न्यूज़ बन रही है चितवन? I was standing in front of the airport and I just saw someone being greeted, वो garlanded with the जो पुराना स्टाइल में डोल से. मैंने उसको तुरंत अपलोड कर दिया, इतनी व्यूज आई. और मैं जो बैठ के बड़ा सीरियस फॉर्मेट में इंटरव्यू करती हूँ, I don't get that.
True.
I think people want the candidness or the freshness.
Exactly. People want the raw thing basically.
Raw. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Basically they want the raw video कि आप कैसा प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, कैसा मतलब आपका डेली लाइफ कैसा है, वो जानना चाहते हैं rather than वो न्यूज़ जाने.
Up close and personal. But
that is true.
The thing is, yes, you're right. But जो न्यूज़ है वो कैसे बाहर आएगी? जो हम सोचते हैं
Basically, people are getting the news from every single channel. If they gonna play any channel, they got any sort of news. And they are not in right now. People are not interested in the news. They are interested in people's life basically. They are not interested in the news.
Well, I would agree and disagree with you. The problem is in news ने भी तो तमाशा बन गई है ना. आजकल we have shows like Dangal, we have shows like Akhada, which means people are coming and just shouting at each other.
Exactly.
And those shows are getting TRPs. So that makes you wonder what happens to the serious conversation, serious debates that need to come out. But having said that, there are channels also which do a lot of explanatory journalism, which I think that's the need of the hour today. Is from whether in terms of monetization, I don't know, but in terms of making people aware, explain an issue. So then let them decide. Don't take stands. Explain it and then let them make a call.
True. So I'm gonna ask the next question to you, ma'am. So where did you study?
I began in Delhi modern school, but then I went to Dehradun. I was in the boarding school Wellams and then St. Stephen's. I did my BA and MA in English.
BA and MA.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So you were in Delhi before the graduation?
Yeah, well, Wellams, Delhi and Dehradun.
Delhi and Dehradun.
But I have to say, boarding school life, there's no maza like that.
Why?
I think you just become, you're with your friends and, colleagues and you are all living in the same, it's a level playing field for everybody. Otherwise, यहाँ कोई बस से स्कूल जा रहा है, कोई गाड़ी से जा रहा है, कोई स्कूल के बाद 5 स्टार में खाना खा रहा है, कोई घर जाके भी काम कर रहा है. So here's a level playing field. Everybody was given the same pocket money, you had the same dormitory, you had the same rules. And when you have to study for an exam, nobody's getting extra tuitions at home. Everybody is there, so you help each other out, you do this. You learn to live together and you learn to have a lot of fun. और इनेट ब्लाइटर्स ने तो सबका माहौल ही खराब कर दिया था. You know, the midnight feast.
Yes,
So we all went there. We have to have midnight feast because it's
so you are loving right now. You are loving your present life, or you loved your past life, like the school life.
I think all of us, you know, we don't. I'm telling you to all the kids, who are, if they're watching, is do not waste your school life.
That is true.
That those years will never come back. That responsibility, the you know the वहाँ के deadlines अलग हैं, यहाँ के deadlines अलग हैं.
काफी ज़्यादा अलग हैं.
Yeah, but I'm also enjoying touchwood my current life. So you know,
you're loving your life. Present life, you're just loving it. You're enjoying every single moment of your life.
I think why? Because Chitvan, I've been a journalist for 3 decades. Sorry,
this is huge.
3 decades.
This is 3 decades also huge.
Yeah, so 30 साल का journalism. अब I am now at that thing where you know you are not running to prove yourself. I am what I am. I am now.
People know you. Basically, people know you.
No, and also you know this is what I am. This is what I'm capable of. These are my sources. This is my wisdom that I bring from my experience. And like me or not, this is it. You know, of course, there's scope for improvement, but I've also come at peace with myself. In your early 20s, you're running around, you're running in circles, trying to be thinner, trying to be smarter, trying to be impress someone. अब वो impress someone का stage
and
चला
making
गया.
that competition कि कौन पहले आगे जाएगा, कौन कैसा करेगा, and ऐसा process and all that.
You know, I always used to look back and say, I wasted so much time trying to lose weight. मैं ठीक तो थी. I'm like, wow, I wish I realized that at 20 and enjoyed it.
That is true. So, shall I ask you the third question, or we're gonna have the normal conversation again? Okay, ma'am. So I'm gonna ask you the third question, and my third question to you is: the medium of reporting has been changed. So, what is your view about that?
You're right. As we were discussing earlier, social media has brought in a whole new dimension to it. So, if a mainstream media, see, as I said earlier, there are some constraints. You know,
that is true.
And it is not that this government is interfering too much. Every government does it. Maybe it's more here, less earlier, but and I'll tell you the difference used to be in the Congress governments. Everybody used to call up for themselves.
Okay.
So a Sibbal would call up saying मेरे खिलाफ you sorry. Jairam Ramesh would call up मेरे खिलाफ you sorry. Ahmed Patel would call up मेरे खिलाफ. Today everybody is saying कि Prime Minister के खिलाफ you कह रहे हो.
Exactly.
The individuals don't matter in this government.
Because
only
people
the Prime Minister does.
Right now, people needs to know कि 2024 में क्या होने वाला है.
हाँ.
They are like बहुत ज़्यादा उनको अंदर से chaos है. They are
लोग तो कहते हैं हमें मालूम ही है.
People are expecting कि हाँ हमें पता है. We know it. कि
आजकल सी politics makes India go round. You know, we have three passions: politics, Bollywood, and cricket.
That is true.
और सबको इस चीज में कुछ ना कुछ knowledge है, information है. So सबको पता है. अपनी पूछोगे, everybody has become the political analyst.
Yes.
The political analysts on TV, what are they? They are normal people. If you see, who have a political this thing थोड़ा सा चुस्का है तो आके अपना ज्ञान देने लग जाते हैं.
That is true. So who has been your favorite political analyst you can like have a conversation with?
Oh, a lot. Political analysts. Yes. I think we have a whole lot of them that are very good who come with. But most people I look for is journalists.
Journalists.
Because
basically.
journalists have, we, especially, my level journalists, not today's TV anchors who are just kids who are just given the screen and they're just sitting there without the field work behind them. Like a Rajdeep or a Barkha or a Rashid Kidwai or, Nirmal Pathak. We are all people who have worked in the field.
Exactly.
I've done reporting with a lot
they
of
do
them.
the journalism reporting, then they become a columnist, anchor.
क्योंकि उस समय TV नहीं था, अब तो shortcut to TV आ गए हैं. So a lot of anchors today I don't have respect. Even
Basically,
Navika, I don't agree with her, but she's been a reporter. She's done the reporting. You know?
So my next question to you, ma'am, what are the lessons you have learned as of now?
The lesson I've learned in today's journalism is that you have to say what you want to. You have just 2 seconds to get the viewer's attention. Otherwise, there's so much options. They will just swipe right and move on.
Exactly.
So say what you want to in the first 2 seconds and get their attention, and then be crisp, be short. But also, my dilemma which I face is, do I tell them the story, what is happening? कि आज एक आदमी चल रहा था रोड पे, उसको गाड़ी ने मार दिया और एक्सीडेंट हुआ. Or do I say गाड़ी ने आदमी को देखा नहीं, the driver was driving fast? That I can say, of course, driving fast. But do I?
And I feel people attract that sort of a second phrase, what you said right now, कि एकदम से all of a sudden वो attract करेगा people को, and they gonna be like watch the whole story.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. They're going to watch the whole story. But my point was, do I say that the car driver is rash and he is wrong, and he was probably drinking without knowing whether he was drinking or not? But तेज चल रहा था तो फिर शराब पी होगी. Should I say all these things, or should I let the viewer decide? A fast car came and killed the guy. Or should I say he was a drunk guy? एक तो BMW थी, कोई must be some rich guy's son, spoiled kid. मतलब उसका character भी assassinate कर दो, spoiled kid ये वो. I'm not taking the side of the driver, but I'm just saying we have to see how to portray the news. A lot of people want that because it's my assessment also. The experience I know of the guy is driving fast, he's driving a Merc. Probably some rich guy's son driving drunk at that hour of the night. So, that's my experience and my own analysis. So, do I bring all that on board? I think viewers today want that analysis.
Exactly.
They just want to know, अब गाड़ी ने मारा तो accident तो हुआ, पर क्या हुआ?
उनको
What
वो
is the
चीज
extra that you bring
काफी
to the table?
excite करता है.
The extra.
हाँ, people get like people want to know कि हुआ क्या था, exact situation पे क्या हुआ था.
But now again, to take the story forward, अगर मैं कहूँ कि वो driver Muslim था और वो हिंदू था, that's I'm being mischievous.
That is true.
So this is the other thing that one has to be a little careful about, which is not happening in today's journalism.
True.
Let's not incite passions that are already incited and inflamed. So that's where you have to be a little responsible and as to the way the information that.
So the next question to you is that कि you want to become a journalist. Before that, what was your thought process?
Chitvan, I never wanted to become a journalist.
Why?
मुझे in terms of current affairs, मुझे ना से बराबर था. I used to be as a schoolgirl and this thing. I used to love fiction.
You never thought that you gonna become a journalist in future?
No, I used to love fiction. As I told you, I was not interested in current affairs. So I was reading Jeffrey Archer's, Enid Blyton's, Jack Higgins, and then I thought because I should love writing. I love writing. I love English, and I had a brilliant English teacher, Mrs. Sekri in Wellens, who used to always praise my writing. And it's what your teacher nurtures you towards one line, and she said, "You write so well." I say, "Haan, I write so well." So I want to, she encouraged me.
So basically, you have an interest in sort of that situation. That's why you thought to become a journalist.
Correct. No, I not thought to become a journalist. I thought I'll be a writer. I thought I'll be an academic, and I applied to go to Oxford. I got admission, but I didn't get a scholarship.
Wow.
So then I worked in an ad agency. I liked words, play on words.
Nice.
I thought I'd like that.
Ma'am, did you always want to be a journalist?
I don't know. It's a very interesting question because I never wanted to be. मुझे initially current affairs was ना के बराबर. I was not interested. I was very happy reading my Enid Blyton, Jack Higgins, fiction books, and the world around me. I was in my own happy bubble. But I loved writing. I was very fond of writing, and I must thank my English teacher, Mrs. Sekri, in school,
who
always encouraged me. She said, "You write so well. हमेशा मुझे essays में अच्छा marks देती थी and all." So I said, "चलो, I want to be a writer and an academic." So मैंने English literature किया था ना school में.
Nice.
So I was all set. I applied to Oxford. I got in, but I didn't get a scholarship. So then I started. Let me work for a year. I was also doing my MA. फिर मैंने एक ad agency join की. But how many ways can you sell an Archie card, a Hallmark card?
That is
so
true.
That got me a little frustrated. Then I joined Sunday magazine. I remember it was a weekly.
When you joined Sunday magazine?
It was in 92, just before.
92.
3 decades of journalism has happened.
Crazy. This is crazy. 92.
So I joined Sunday magazine, and there Veer Sanghvi was the editor. He's quite a legend, and it was an amazing place to work with. Aditi Fadnis, and she's the political editor of Business Standard now.
Oh, wow.
And there they encouraged you. They here everybody was saying अपने sources तो मैं ही रखूंगा and I will not share. They took me to meet people. Veer took me to meet Kamalnath. Aditi took me to meet Chidambaram. I met all these people. They encourage you to write.
So how was your experience to meet with them?
Oh, it was amazing. Kamalnath, I said, "Oh, you're from Doon, I'm from Wellens," and he said, I was, it's also a little bit of your social skills.
True.
How to talk to people, how to get information, but you have to create a bond.
Exactly.
And see, today's journalism is very soundbite and fatafat. पहले I was in a weekly. I've always worked in weeklies, Chitvan.
Oh, nice.
Even when I joined NewsX, my condition to Kartikeya was, who's a very decent guy in that sense, he allowed me. And I said, I will do my weekly shows. I will not do daily because daily journalism मुझे hit and run नहीं करना है. Bite लेके भागो या interview करके भागो. I like to sit with the person, have tea, get to know build friends, build
just a
sources.
normal conversation basically.
No, you build रिश्ते बना. मतलब I'm not saying they're all my friends and rishtas or whatever, but you get to know a person.
Exactly.
If you spend a little more time, you see the man behind the news, what he's saying on TV and the interview, and what he really is.
Exactly.
It gives you a rounded perspective of the person, of the situation. Maybe there are things he can't say on air, but They can explain to you where they are coming from.
Before the shoot, basically.
Or after the show,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can give you a rounded picture and you get to know the people. So I think that's what I like about this, that every event that happens, I just don't know the headlines. I know what is behind the headlines. I get the analysis, perspective. And that's what
Basically,
makes
you
journalism
have the.
interesting.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very nice, ma'am. So, my next question to you is that as we are talking about the guest and everything, that then who was your favorite guest from all your shows, and the worst one also?
Wow. Worst one, so I'd leave for your next podcast.
For sure.
The best one, I think I would say someone like Dr. Subramaniam Swami. I always
very
called him
nice.
the
Interesting.
bad boy of the round table because he would always say something unexpected, something shocking.
Nice.
But he knows, he backs it with facts. He has a lot of knowledge, information. So he is one of the good guests. Then I like Manish Tiwari. I liked, Pawan Verma with his, especially when he's talking about Hinduism. He's amazing. We have a lot of fun people also, like Amit Malviya. He used to come.
Oh, wow. Very interesting names we are getting right now.
Yeah, a lot of guests that are politicians ke bare mein. वैसे तो other fields also there are a lot, but I think in terms of Hardeep Puri, I like. He speaks so well. He's very articulate.
True.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar. From the BJP also, Dharmendra Pradhan. Anurag Thakur is again a very good speaker. So a lot of these...
You had a show with Anurag Thakur also. So how was your experience during that?
Very good. Now of course he's INV minister, but he coins the right sound bite. He knows the media. He's very media savvy in that sense. So, he's got a good sense of humor. So I think that's what's needed in politicians. When you're just giving news, don't be combative. You can say the same thing in a nicer manner with a sense of humor. People who explain things well are also much appreciated, because we also come into the age of explanatory journalism.
That is true.
I want to do that. I don't want to tell you that ye hua, but kaise hua, how it happened, that is also interesting. But in terms of political analysts, I like people who are from, journalists make the best guess. They come with so much information, such a wealth of experience, anecdotes. Veer Sangvi, Rashid Kidwai, there is Neeja Chaudhary, Radhika Ramaseshan. All these people who come on my shows, Aditi Fadnis, they come with anecdotes, with stories, with analysis. I think these are the guys that, and that's what, when you walk into a room, when people at a party, people say journalists, and they will always come to you, batao kya ho raha hai, because they want behind the scenes, andar ki khabar.
Exactly.
That's why call journalists to your shows. Don't call spokesmen who will just have a script, usko ye bolna hai, usko ye attack karna hai, aur awaaz unchi se unchi karni hai. Have a conversation, have people who will help you behind the scenes. I think journalists make the best guess.
Best guess. That is true, ma'am. So, right now you're handling many shows on NewsX. So, I know that you are handling We Women Want show also. So, why you choose We Women Want only? A women show, basically.
Oh, I think women, Chitvan, because there is a lot of, women make the world go round.
That is true.
Ghar ke andar bhi women hai, who is the deciding thing, and in offices also, if the woman is there, they just make the atmosphere more sensitive, more nurturing. And there is a need. Women have always been denied and the underdog for a long time. So their views, their rights have to be highlighted. And also women, में मजा आता है. You are part of my show. I have to tell.
Yes, of course.
Let the viewers know that you're the producer.
Yes, I'm the producer of the show, guys.
Yes, that helps. That
so
makes the show.
So basically, you have completed 50 plus shows on We Women Want. So how's the feeling right now?
Feeling is great.
Feeling is great.
It's great because, Chitvan, each of the show can be repeated. It's not
that
in a time capsule. We have taken issues from domestic abuse, from acid attack victims, to laws that help women, to women achievers, designers. We address issues like, who says size 0 is normal? Why can't a double XL woman feel good about herself?
True.
So long as she's not having a health issue, being overweight, where's the harm in being overweight? Why are designers not making clothes for the overweight?
True.
So we pick up topics, datings. Today, dating world has changed. People, have apps that allow you to find someone, not just for shadi, for live-in relations, and different kind. You can be living in your own house and still have a mutually exclusive relationship, or you can just meet someone for a cup of coffee. So
that
I
is
think
true.
The world is changing, and we are capturing that change on our shows.
That is true, ma'am. That is totally true. So I'm gonna ask last question to you, ma'am.
Khatam already. I'm enjoying this.
This is the last question, but I want to know you more. I know you already a little bit, but I want to know you more, ma'am. But still, we're gonna have this conversation for our next podcast for sure. This is the last question I'm gonna ask you. So, one of the reason why Roundtable is so keenly watched, and is that here is a show where you get a good sound discussion, shouting and heckling. How do you choose your guests, basically?
Yeah, when you go, like when you have a dinner party, you want to get people in a room that will get along with each other. There will be a meaningful conversation.
Exactly.
Boring evening nahi honi chahiye.
Exactly.
So you add an element of surprise. Get one guest who will shock a bit, who will or bring something extra, so everybody else will listen. Get your friends so nobody is bored. So I also want to curate a good round table where there are like-minded people. People who there is a certain level playing field.
Exactly.
I want people who will come and contradict each other. I want a view and a counter view, but I don't want shouting and heckling. So I don't want, aajkal ke shows are called Dangal, Akhada. We are called
That
Roundtable
is-
because we curate good sound conversation. We want to know what is happening behind the news. We want to get to know why a decision was taken, what impact will it have, and how it was taken. And for that, I want people. That's why I say I get, today's spokespersons are given a brief कि जिसका ज़्यादा लंग पा रहा है ना वो जाएगा TV पे. So I don't want those kind of people.
I don't think so. Right now, this is working. जिसका voice काफी ज़्यादा है वो मतलब that sort of a sound effect in your voice वो ज़्यादा process करेगा. I don't think so. This is working right now.
Well, I hope it's not, but at the time it was a shouting match. People
That
used
is
to come in the evening, and why do people watch sports? Why do people watch boxing? Because they want to see dishum dishum.
Yes.
अब
that
ये
is-
verbal dishum dishum चलता है, and people were watching it. At a time, these debates were going crazy, viral. कि उसने उसको मारा, somebody had a heart attack on the TV studio, that went viral.
Exactly.
So there is a viewership for that. But I think we should also try and say, let's bring conversation back on the agenda.
Exactly.
Instead of shouting, instead of saying who is the winner of the debate, it's not like boxing match nahi hai.
Exactly.
It's a conversation. You can score debating points, verbal points. That's so much nicer. You can bring out a government policy, pros and cons. Let people walk away from there learning something, or at least spending a half an hour, which has been well spent, and not just popcorn khaya maza deke aa gaya.
हाँ,
वो उसके लिए Bollywood है ना.
True. I don't want to leave you right now, ma'am, but what is your view to our viewers for our podcast and for the people, basically?
No, I think I hope that you enjoyed this little conversation that we have, and these podcasts are good because, as I said, you also want to know where the person is coming from.
That is true.
And that is what is helping these podcast. People may watch
True.
Roundtable. In fact, a lot of people say we like it because you don't speak much. Because I know that
Exactly.
people have not come to hear me; they've come to hear my guests. But today you made me speak Chitvan a lot. I'm like
I'm
going
glad,
on and on.
ma'am.
So thank you for that.
My pleasure,
And
ma'am.
I hope through you, the viewers will know a little bit of where I'm coming from. So
Sure.
when they watch my shows, hopefully they will give me a little bit of a break.
I know they're gonna love it for sure, ma'am. It was lovely talking to you, ma'am. Hope to see you in our next podcast or the another podcast. Hope
Whenever
to see
you call me.
For sure, ma'am. Hope to see you soon, ma'am. Thanks for watching us on NewsX podcast. Thank you so much.